Hello everyone, today is December 12, 2024, and we're going to talk about and play Skydance's Behemoth because a big patch was just released for it today. Now, quick disclosure right out the gate so I don't waste anyone's time. The version I'm going to play and compare at the end of this video is the PSVR2 version because that's the only version I own. So, if you were looking for some gameplay comparison on the Quest, then unfortunately that's not going to be in this video. I will discuss some of the changes the patch made to the Quest version if you want to stick around for that. One other thing I want to mention is that I'm posting my full playthrough of this game on YouTube, but I haven't uploaded all my videos yet. I've actually beaten the game already, but I just haven't finished editing the last two videos, but I anticipate they'll go up by this weekend. However, I didn't want to wait for that before discussing this patch, and I'm just letting you guys know that I did play this game through in its entirety pre-patch, so I have that as a basis of comparison. So let's start with the Quest notes because they had the most extensive changes other than those that affect all versions. These patch notes on screen are from the developer's Discord, so this comes straight from the horse's mouth. Just a quick FYI, the devs had some spoiler tags on these, which I've unmarked. I don't think any of them really ruin the game. It mostly appears to be boss names and things like that. But since they were originally spoiler tagged, I thought I'd mention that just in case anyone wants to avoid them. So I'm not going to go through every single one of these because there's a lot. However, I will list them on the screen, so if at any point you want to pause so that you can read them, you can do that. The first category here is Quest Player Experience, and I think the big one here is the first note, which says that they added a shader compiling loading screen at game boot. So basically it appears this is something that you may have to download from Meta's platform, and if you get this message, it doesn't mean the game is frozen. You have to wait for 2 to 3 minutes and the game will continue, and that they're looking for a better fix to this. Okay, so next up is Quest gameplay. A lot of this just seems like it was fixing things kind of getting stuck. It also sounds like it fixed some soft locks that might have happened with bosses. For example, it says it fixed a final boss glitch that would occur and fixed progression glitches during the Nightscraper fight. Yeah, see, like this one right here, fixed Mad Marauder from spawning inside geometry and getting stuck. Maybe that was a quest-specific problem for this boss or mini-boss, but characters spawning into the geometry and getting stuck was a problem I noticed a lot on the PSVR2 version. Another thing I noticed on the PSVR2 version that they say is fixed here on the Quest is janky handling when interacting with the player's scroll. Okay, so after listing all those Quest-specific changes, let's get to the list of PSVR2 specific changes, and it is just one. Blood should no longer show as black. I think it's so funny that after all those Quest changes, we basically have this one, but it's a big one. And I'm actually looking forward to playing and seeing what difference the red blood makes, and seeing if they added back any other gore, because I heard that the Quest version was just gorier by comparison. In terms of the fact that there were so many different changes to the Quest, I've heard, and I don't know if this is true because there's been a lot of things that have been said about this game since launch, but I've heard that a lot of things that are listed in this December 12th patch that are Quest specific are things that were already fixed on the day one patch for the PSVR2. So, all supported platforms, it looks like there were quite a few progression blocker fixes, which is good. I definitely had some instances where my game got soft locked on my playthrough. I think the big one for me here is at the bottom, at least for the PSVR2. Players should now be able to fast travel after the end of the campaign to continue their post-game collection. I had that bug at the end of my playthrough where basically you just got stuck in the last area, and I know some other people had that issue too. So I'm looking forward at the end of this video to actually going back to the end of the game and seeing what kind of progression you can make. Okay, so now for the combat changes. For the tuning changes, it sounds like they improved the player dodge, disabled the enemy dodge for now, and then they made it so that exposed headshots on standard enemies are one-hit kills. The two things here at the bottom that I'm interested in are that two-handed weapons, they say the feel has been greatly improved. I am eager to try that out because some of the two-handed weapons looked totally badass, but I felt like I couldn't use them because the hitboxes were just too janky, especially in close quarter combat. And for block and parry, I feel like I was doing pretty well with parrying, to be honest with you. That ended up being my go-to fighting strategy towards the end of the game. But it looks like they're now giving you a more generous parry window. As far as the stamina stuff goes here, combat stamina drain, I'm not sure. Some of this I'm not exactly sure what it means, because for example it says that 5 swings with Kragjaegar redlines you without sending you into winded, but I don't know if that's more or less swings than previously. It does say that for some of these, they've reduced the stamina cost. Like, for instance, that 4 successive throws with Kragjaegar will wind you, which is an increase from 2, and that they removed the stamina penalty for player attacks that are blocked by the enemy hitting their shield, weapon, or helmet. So it sounds like they're being a bit more generous with the stamina drain here, too. These notes here about the Freestyle mode beta, I don't know about this much and don't think I've used it. So I can't really comment on it, but you can pause the video here if you want to read notes about it and also some of these additional notes at the bottom. So here are some Miniboss updates. So they reduced the homing distance while attacking with Sora Ortel and reduced her overall damage. Sora Ortel is the lady with the big two-handed sword. So I remember she kicked my butt quite a few times before I was able to beat her. So maybe it's a good thing they gave her a nerf. Sora Vrisek, don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, should no longer spawn in ceiling and fall to her death, even it was occasionally funny. That does sound funny. I never had that happen, but that would be hilarious. I understand why they would want to fix that bug, but sometimes I don't know. I like when funny bugs like that are kept in. Dagger attack damage has been reduced. Yeah, you know, the first time I fought her, I remember she just like threw a flurry of daggers at me and I went from like full health to 0, so maybe it wasn't intentional. Pale Archer should no longer turn invisible. I didn't have that bug happen to me, thankfully, but I heard quite a few people complaining about it, so I'm glad they fixed that. General Ludwig, shield bash attack will no longer one-shot players who are at full health. It's still plenty deadly, however. Okay, I don't think I really encountered that problem either. Just so you know, there was one other mini-boss who was listed here, and I didn't include him because I do think that one is actually quite spoilerish in terms of the story. But if you're familiar with the game, it's the second to last boss. And it just says they increased his health and attack rate. I guess they felt that he was too easy the first time around. I kind of remember that being an easy fight too, to be honest with you. And this is the last set of patch updates under the heading level updates. It looks like they fixed some progression issues again. And then it looks like they also nerfed Shacklehide so that he doesn't cause as much damage to you. Under Miscellanea, the thing that interests me the most is this note under Trophy Room Collection. Trapper cleaned up while you were away. All statues have been moved to their wall inventory slots for now. We'll continue working on this area in future updates. For the time being, if you rearrange collectibles, they will go back to their inventory slots when you leave and return. Okay. So it sounds like for right now, this update is basically just ensuring that your collectibles go back to their inventory slots in the trophy room. I don't know if there was a problem with items not returning to the trophy room before, and there seems to be a bunch of other kind of miscellaneous fixes here, but the very last one, crash fixes have significantly improved stability across all platforms, and I think that's good. It sounds like the main focus of this, which it should have been, frankly, was a lot of kind of the janky mechanics and a lot of the stuff that would stop progression. I ran into those things a few times, and you know, it's just kind of the state of the gaming industry today. This isn't particular to Skydance, you know, that games get released and they still just need a lot of work and a lot of patches, and those of us who are early adopters of the game end up kind of being bug testers in some ways. But I have to say, you know, I've been participating on their Discord and I pointed out a couple of bugs, and the devs got back to me actually personally on the couple of bugs that I mentioned and told me that they should be fixed in this patch. One of the bugs I ran into is when I left Kragjaegar on the forge, apparently, it didn't respawn in my inventory when I left the area. And so I wasn't able to finish the Nightscraper fight, which was really frustrating since, you know, I got to the very end of the fight and had to redo it. And then the other thing I mentioned to them was that when I beat the game, I kind of got stuck in the final area and wasn't able to go back. I wasn't able to open my scroll to go back to find more collectibles or progress to like a new game plus or anything like that. I don't even know if there is a new game plus, but basically I was just kind of stuck in that final area. And one other thing I mentioned to them that they didn't respond to me personally about, but that I'm sure they're well aware of because I noticed it all over this update, was enemies just like spawning into walls or like getting stuck in the floor. That was just like a problem throughout my playthrough. It sounds like they're aware of it, and it sounds like they've made various fixes to it. So, okay, so having gone through the patch notes now, I think I'm actually going to turn on the game on the PSVR 2 and play through it and see if I notice a difference. All right, so here we are at the ending location. Glittering gold light is gone, but I can use my scroll. And I can use my scroll to travel around now. Well, now it appears that I can use my scroll, so it looks like what was wrong with the pre-patch version is that it wouldn't let you access your scroll. Also, Celia's golden light was still here, and that's gone in this version, so I guess that wasn't supposed to do anything. I guess that was just supposed to disappear, and it was just a glitch that it stayed here. All right, well, so anyway, now the good news is I can fast travel. Storm Harbor, there we go. The Hearth. Here we are. Now we're back in the trophy room, or I guess it's called the Hearth. Alright, let's take a look at the changes that they made. Oh yeah, this table is all clean now. No trophies on there, instead they're all up here, nicely collected on the wall. But yeah, basically if I take this trophy and I just throw it on the floor, it will go back onto the shelf. So I guess this is one of their ways to prevent you from losing things. Yeah, all these weapons are up here. That's great. Obviously, I'm missing a few of the weapons also. But yeah, this was not organized like this when I came back here last time. So it seems like they have made things a little more organized. Okay, my bow is there. So then we're going to take you. Yeah. Because I liked you, but I couldn't use you in the, I couldn't use you before. They say that you're gonna work a little better now. We'll see about that. This looks awesome also. Should I use this instead? You know what? I'm not gonna use this because I don't have a basis for comparison, from the pre-patch version. So I will, use the sword instead, because I remember what the sword was like when I used it. It still seems to be cutting on a bit of an angle. Well, we won't know for sure until we try it in battle. Let's go to Nightscraper's area, because I think that's where I was using this sword the most. That and maybe the area right before Shacklehide. Huh. Okay, so I still hear Nightscraper, even though Nightscraper is dead. The dude didn't fall out of the sky this time. So maybe that is just a remaining audio bug. Because one of the bug notes did say that there was a cutscene that would play in Shacklehide's arena after you had already defeated Shacklehide, and they said they patched that out. So I don't think there's supposed to be any evidence of the behemoths still being alive after you've successfully dispatched them. Some people had said that they would love an option to redo the behemoth boss fights after you've beaten the game, and I agree. That sounds like an awesome idea. I'm not seeing any enemies. Do they just not respawn after you've already completed an area? Because if so, that's gonna suck, because I've got no one to test these weapons out on. But I guess, you know what? I guess the enemies don't respawn because they want you to have an easier time exploring. That's what it looks like. So yeah, I feel like I should have run into some enemies by now, but let's try maybe a different location. Okay, so I definitely remember you fought enemies here, and they're all gone. So once you clear an area of enemies, it looks like the enemies just don't respawn. So, I guess since I cleared the game that there's probably no enemies for me to fight. There also didn't appear to be a way to go into a new game plus. I was kind of wondering if that would be an option, and it doesn't appear that that is an option. There's the forge. You know what? Let me try something here. See if they... Well, not you. Let me use... even though I have an upgraded version of it, let me use the sword. I think I want to try to repeat the bug that I did last time. So let's say I want to upgrade it, right? And now let's just say I forget it. Let's just say I forgot that it was there. Will it come back? Let's see, we're gonna test this. What's going on here? It sounds like there's a boss fight going on, but I can't see anything. Okay, let's try that again, because that was weird. You know what? Before I do that, let me test losing my sword here. Alright, so if I put this down here, if I choose to upgrade it, I don't have enough to feed it. Okay, but let's just say I leave now and I forget my sword. Will I get it back? Looks like it won't come back to me. Unless I leave for a different area. So that could still be a problem. I'll bring that to the devs' attention. But let's see what happens when I go to another area. If it'll reappear. Okay, it reappeared there. Let's just leave it there. If I just leave it there, though, will it respawn? I can recall it. Okay, that's cool. So I can recall it if I'm still in the same area. What if I'm forging it? I don't think I have enough material to forge anything, do I? Wish I had more upgrade materials. Oh well. Well, that's enough of that. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to have to load an earlier save, because there were no enemies for me to fight. And when you load a save, you can only load back your last few prior saves. I don't think you can just go back to like a really early save. You can either go back to your, it looks like your most recent save, or several of the saves before that, but you know. So I think the only place I'm going to be able to fight enemies right now is probably in the Hollow. I think I was in the Lost Halls. Oh, there we go. Great. Let's, can I get down there? Okay, that worked well. I'm not going to fight any of you with bows and arrows. I am only going to use my big sword. Because you're going down with this big blade. That's all there is to it. Alright, here we go. Let's see. No blood for these enemies though, so I'm gonna have to start a new game. I missed. Alright, let's try again. Got a little too excited there. Still a little janky. Let's see, I didn't have a good grip on it. Alright.
We will hang your on us.
Ah, that was awesome. Let's try. Okay. That it? Okay. So, you know what? This is still a little janky. I think part of the jank is not having two hands secure on it. I might think that I have two hands securely on it, but I don't. And really, I'm kind of doing this. I think that's what's happening a lot when it's not working. If I have two hands secured and I attack, then I feel like I'm getting pretty good damage. It's still a little janky though. You could tell by the way that enemy went flying. That was really funny. I have to say, it does feel better. I didn't get any blood in that fight, so I'm going to start a new game to try to get some blood. Hello.
More fresh meat. Damn marauder got the jump on me. Glad you came along.
I guess that looks a little redder.
Think you're brave, outsider?
All right, let's see. That looks a little more bloody. Doesn't seem to be a huge increase in the gore factor, but the blood does seem to be a little bit redder. I'm actually really curious now what this looks like on the quest. You know what? If you're a quest player, actually let me know how you think that gore compares to the gore on the quest version. I've heard the quest version is a lot gorier. You know, another thing they mentioned is that headshots will cause one-hit kills, and I mean these are early game enemies, so I don't know if that's much of a difference, but definitely the hitbox on the headshots feels a lot better. Let's see, how's parrying work? Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a little bloodier. Let's try this. Ah, he blocked it. Well done. Okay, the hitboxes seem to feel a lot better.
Stand still.
Definitely red blood on my screen when I get hit. Let's see. Alright, let's try to parry. That didn't work.
Nothing but a net.
There we go.
No,
Nice.
hurt me.
Okay. Parrying window feels pretty good. Okay, red blood on my screen when I get hit. Let's get hit again. Yeah, all red. Okay.
You don't get past me.
Let's try to parry one more time. Parrying feels pretty good. Okay. Okay, so this video ended up being a bit longer than I intended, but I think we ended up pretty thoroughly covering the December 12, 2024 patch for Skydance's Behemoth. And yeah, some of them seem to be fixed. There still seem to be some issues with some other things, but I do think that this definitely feels a lot more improved over the previous version. Probably going to be a few more patches incoming after this still, I would imagine. But like I said before, the devs seem to be pretty receptive to feedback. So if you encounter any further bugs, I would encourage you to go to their Discord and to report them in the Discord channel. Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, I would ask that you please like and subscribe. I am going to be making more VR content, including uploading the rest of my pre-patch playthrough of Skydance's Behemoth. I anticipate that those videos will be uploaded this weekend. Thank you very much for watching and take care.